President Biden announced his student loan forgiveness program on Wednesday, and it actually exceeded expectations. It calls for $20,000 in debt forgiveness for all Pell Grant recipients and $10,000 for all other student debt holders, including those who went to graduate school. It is restricted, though. The benefits only apply to individuals who earn less than $125,000 a year. That's $250,000 for couples. That'll mean paperwork and bureaucracy, which will discourage people from even signing up. One of the leading activist organizations behind the debt forgiveness campaign, the Debt Collective, pushed for automatic cancellation, and it noted on Twitter that the Department of Education is just unable to process these sort of requests in a timely manner, and that already their website was crashing. Also, the forms people need to fill out to get relief aren't even available yet. The decision to not automatically apply loan forgiveness for people may have been made in order to keep costs down for the government. Here was Ambassador Susan Rice, the director of the White House's Domestic Policy Council, asked on Wednesday how much all this will cost.
How much will this cost? How much will Americans have to pay on this price tag overall?
Well, that remains to be determined, and it will be a function of what percentage of eligible borrowers actually take up this opportunity.
$300 billion?
We'll see when they take up the opportunity. We'll be able to give you a much better sense
but are
of
those
that.
Numbers ballpark at this point?
I think it depends on the numbers. Unfortunately, we're here to encourage as many people to take it up as possible. If 43 million borrowers take it up, that'll be different than if 50% of those 43 million take it up.
So in order to keep the costs of the program down, the White House is banking on not everyone filling out the forms to get debt relief. Of course, there is no actual cost to this. The government isn't spending money here as much as it's just no longer accepting payments from people whose debt is wiped out. And in many cases, the government wasn't receiving those payments anyway because so many people were in default. So this is a design flaw and one that looks intentional. The Education Department also proposed reforms that would cap the loan repayment amount to 5% of an individual's monthly disposable income. They would also protect individuals who make less than 225% of the poverty line, or about $15 an hour, from having to make any loan repayments. These are good steps, necessary steps, since Biden will unfreeze student loan payments at the end of the year, meaning for the first time in over 2 years, students will be on the hook again for paying down their loans each month. Altogether, it's estimated that tens of millions of people will see their student loan balance drop to zero. That's great. But one can't help but wonder, why not more? There are still tens of millions of other people for whom the $10,000 in forgiveness barely covers their interest payments. The White House released a memo making the case for why the Department of Education has the authority to cancel student loan debt. In it, General Counsel Lisa Brown explains that the 2003 HEROES Act gives the Education Secretary the power to grant loan relief, quote, during specific periods, which includes a war or national emergency. The argument here is that the COVID-19 pandemic is a national emergency. And if that's the case, why only $10,000? Why not $50,000 as was proposed not by radicals in Biden's own party, but by moderates like Chuck Schumer? Or why not what Biden himself promised when he was running for president? His old campaign website is still up if you want to read what Biden actually said he'd do on this issue. Quote, forgive all undergraduate tuition-related federal student debt from 2- and 4-year public colleges and universities and private HBCUs and MSIs for debt holders earning up to $125,000. So all of it, not $10,000, all of it. The administration might counter and say, well, they support legislation that would do that. But if the White House assumed the authority to cancel student loan debt, as it does here, then why not just cancel it all as promised? Why wait for Congress to pass a bill that it's not going to pass? Well, during yesterday's White House press briefing, National Economic Council Deputy Director Bharat Ramamurthy said it came down to a decision about fiscal responsibility.
My question How did the administration come up with the $20,000 and $10,000 relief number? Was there some kind of calculation into what would be inflationary and what is actually going to make an impact?
Yeah. Look, in terms of the Secretary's decision and the President's decision on this, there's a number of factors that go into it. The President's goal was to do something that he thought was fair, responsible, and consistent with his commitment to fiscal responsibility. So we thought this was a fair and equitable thing to do. It was fiscally responsible, and the combination of those factors is why we arrived at this ultimate outcome.
So for those still drowning in debt, take solace in knowing it simply wouldn't be responsible for the White House to fully help you. Anyway, no one actually cares about fiscal responsibility. If the White House limited debt relief in order to look responsible to its opponents, well, it didn't work, since everyone who opposed student debt relief is having a conniption over this anyway. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.